Payday. You feel it before you even check the app, that small hit of relief, like you just won something. For a few hours you're rich. You're generous. You say yes to things. And then, one by one, the withdrawals start. Rent. The card you meant to pay off. A grocery run that somehow cost more than your rent used to. By day 4, that winning feeling is already gone, and you don't even remember spending it. Sound familiar? It's not because you're bad with money. It's because you're playing a game you were never given the rules to. Here's the rule nobody told you. The order you do things in matters more than the amount you make. Most people live by this order: earn, spend, then save whatever's left. And whatever's left is almost always zero. Not because they're careless, but because expenses are patient. They wait. They always find your money before your goals do. Pay yourself first flips that order. Earn, save immediately, then spend what remains. That's it. Same income. Same bills. Completely different outcome, because now your savings goes first in line instead of last. But here's the part people miss. Knowing this doesn't change anything. You already know you should save more. You've known that for years. The problem was never information. The problem is that willpower is a terrible long-term strategy. Think about it honestly. You are not the same person at 9 a.m. with a fresh coffee and a to-do list as you are at 9 p.m., tired, scrolling, emotionally drained from the day. That version of you is not going to log into your bank app and manually transfer money into savings. That version of you is going to open a delivery app instead. And that's not a character flaw, that's just how human decision-making works under fatigue. Behavioral scientists have a name for it: present bias. Your brain values a reward right now far more than an equal, or even bigger reward later. It's not weakness. It's wiring. So if your financial plan depends on you overriding that wiring every single day, multiple times a day, for years, you are fighting a battle you were never built to win. This is exactly why automation isn't a nice trick. It's the entire solution. When money moves automatically, the moment of temptation simply never arrives. You don't resist spending that money, because by the time you'd even think about it, it's already somewhere else. You've removed the decision completely. And a decision you never have to make is a decision you can never get wrong. There's something else happening here too, something psychological. Money sitting in your checking account feels available, even when you've told yourself it's for savings. Your brain doesn't respect mental labels very well. But money that has physically left your checking account and landed in a separate account, that money feels different. It feels spent. Done. Off limits. Even though technically it's still yours, your brain treats it like it already belongs to your future. That's the quiet power of automation. It doesn't just move money. It changes how your brain perceives ownership of that money. Alright, let's build this properly. Stop thinking about savings as one single number. That's where most systems fall apart. Everything gets mixed together, and eventually you can't tell if that account balance is your emergency fund, your vacation money, or just leftover cash you haven't spent yet. Split it into purpose-driven buckets instead. Bucket 1 is your emergency fund. This is your protection against life happening: a car repair, a medical bill, a layoff. The target most people aim for is 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. It's not meant to grow. It's meant to sit there quietly, ready. Bucket 2 is long-term investing: retirement accounts, index funds, anything meant to compound for decades. This is money you are not touching for a very long time, and that's the entire point. Bucket 3 is sinking funds, money for expenses that aren't monthly, but are absolutely predictable. Holiday spending, car maintenance, annual insurance premiums, birthdays. These expenses feel like emergencies only because nobody planned for them in advance. They're not surprises. They're appointments you forgot you made. Now, the number. How much should actually move on payday? A common benchmark is 20% of your take-home income. But if that number makes you want to close this and never think about it again, ignore it completely for now. 20% is a destination, not a starting line. Start with whatever feels almost embarrassingly small, $20, even 10. The number is not the point in the beginning. Proving to yourself that the system runs without breaking your life, that's the point. You can raise the amount gradually, especially every time your income goes up. And this next part matters more than almost anything else in this entire process. Every time you get a raise, split it immediately. Automate at least half of that new amount straight into savings before you ever adjust to having it. Most people never notice a raise they never touched. They only notice money that hit their checking account and then quietly evaporated into a slightly nicer lifestyle. Now let's talk mechanics, because this is where good intentions usually die. People agree with all of this in theory and then never actually open their banking app to set it up. So let's remove every excuse. The strongest method is splitting your direct deposit at the source. A lot of employers allow you to route part of your paycheck straight into a separate account before it ever lands in your checking account. This is the purest version of paying yourself first, because the money never passes through your hands at all. You can't spend what you never had access to. If that's not available, the next best thing is a scheduled automatic transfer through your bank. Timed for payday, or the day right after, in case your deposit posts a little late. Set it once. Never think about it again. For retirement, this is often already halfway automated. If you're contributing to an employer plan, that money is deducted before your paycheck even reaches you. If your employer offers a match, contribute at minimum enough to capture the full match. That is money being handed to you for free, and skipping it is one of the most common regrets people have looking back years later. For your sinking funds, add up your predictable irregular expenses for the year, divide that total by your number of paychecks, and automate that amount into a labeled savings bucket. Now when December rolls around, or your car needs new tires, there's no panic. There's no credit card. There's just money that's already there, waiting, because past you planned ahead. And if you're carrying high-interest debt, treat extra payments toward it the same way. Automate a fixed amount above the minimum, going straight at the highest interest balance first. Every dollar you send there is a guaranteed return equal to that interest rate, a return you genuinely cannot find anywhere else safely. Now, where this money lives actually matters. Don't let it sit in the same checking account you spend from every day. Use a high-yield savings account, and ideally, put it at a completely different bank than your everyday spending account. That extra step, needing to log into a different app, wait a day or two for a transfer, isn't inconvenience for no reason. It's a deliberate speed bump between you and impulsively pulling that money back out during a late-night moment of weakness. Small detail, big impact. Name your account something specific. Emergency fund. House down payment. Trip to Portugal. Not. Savings too. A name gives the money a purpose, and purpose is much harder to read than an anonymous number on a screen. You don't need to check this system daily. In fact, you shouldn't. Check it once a quarter, after a raise, a new expense, or a debt finally getting paid off, and adjust the amounts then. The whole point of automation is that it frees your attention, not that it demands more of it. So walk through what payday actually looks like once this is running. Your paycheck lands. Your retirement contribution is already gone, deducted before you even saw the number. Your emergency fund transfer fires automatically. Your sinking fund transfer fires automatically. Your extra debt payment fires automatically. All of that, done, before you've even had your morning coffee. What's left in your checking account after all of that? That's your real number. That's your honest, guilt-free spending money for this pay period. No mental math. No promising yourself you'll save what's left. No budgeting app open at midnight trying to find money that's already gone. You didn't need discipline today. The system had the discipline for you, permanently, in the background, without asking your tired 9 p.m. self to do anything at all. That's the actual secret hiding behind almost every person who seems effortlessly good with money. It was never about earning more, and it was rarely about heroic self-control. It was about designing a system once, so that saving became the default, and spending became what happens with whatever's left over. Set it up today. Not next payday. Not when things settle down. Today. Because the version of you that keeps waiting for the perfect moment to start is the same version of you who's been saying that for years.